welcome to Awkwardly Yours, where it is messy, awkward, and most of all human. Today, you got the two Monies. Yeah, that's right. It's Monique and...
Moni.
You're just Moni.
Monica.
So actually, that's quite relevant as to how we met. So we are going to start. I always start with like, hey, how did we meet?
Okay.
Because it's obvious how we met because we met in another country. So it's easy for us to remember. But I'm wondering if you remember the actual event of where we met and how we actually interacted.
So long ago.
A little bit of time ago. We were babies.
Babies. Different lifetime ago, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
In Japan.
Yes.
And I was 20, turning 21, and hadn't been there that long. And
how long had you been there?
5 minutes.
Yeah.
No, a couple of weeks, I think, just settling in, getting integrated, all overwhelming. And this was in 1991, and there was foreigners were few and far between.
Yes, yeah.
Especially Anglo-Saxon, Caucasian ladies, young ladies, and I was having a random party at where I was staying, and
Like a birthday party?
yeah, birthday party, or
It was your birthday.
but you came to my party. Remember, I invited you.
Okay. No, we were at someone else's party.
We were at someone else's party, right?
Was it Junshin?
Yeah, I think
It was Junshin. It's like a uni.
I latched onto you, you latched onto me. We're having a few drinkies, and I was like, yeah, I'm 21 next week. Do you want to come?
And I was like, yes. Because that party, I'd already been there for 3 months with my boss who was Australian.
Okay.
And because this is what you do when you're 20, move to another country and where you don't speak the language and start a little career there as a teacher.
Of course, as you do, yeah.
So that's what I was doing. But I hadn't seen another soul, let alone an Australian. Like, it was all Japanese people, which is lovely and great and amazing. But I was just like craving to speak English to someone. And, so when she said, we'll go to this party, and I was like, oh yeah, go to the party. And she said there was going to be lots of English speakers there. I'm like, what? That exists here, And so I was just like, this is amazing. And you're saying, come to another party. I'm like, yes, please. I am coming to your party.
I am there already.
Yeah. Okay, so in my mind, I keep forgetting about that we met at that party.
Very briefly, yeah.
And then your party was the next week, which I think that's where we have to start with our awkward stories, because wild. We had a night out. So we're 20, you were 21 that day?
Yeah, I think so. I was. It was my 21st.
But honestly, the years between us, like, I know we're practically the same age, but in my mind, you're like 10 years older with your maturity compared to me. At the time I was...
Back then, maybe not now.
Not now,
I've regressed.
But
no.
Back then I was a baby, and you were like my, worldly friend.
No, I didn't have much lived experience either. Only been in Japan. I just think I was a bit more, I don't know, naughty, reckless.
Naughty, reckless, wild.
Explorative. Not naughty.
Experienced and fun. Like, most of all, fun. So I found myself at the end of the night. We'd had beer, whatever. I think whatever was.
Oh, God, a bit of everything probably, as you did back then. Started, straight-laced with beer. Yeah.
And you didn't want to stop, and neither did I. So I was like, yeah, this is great. I'm having a great time. And but we stayed out a bit later, and then we're like, okay, it's probably time to go home. And I said, come and stay with me, because I had an apartment, which, to myself, which was kind of unusual. Like, most people shared or whatever. So you were like, yeah. And then the wildest thing you said was like, let's hitchhike, it's cheaper. All about saving money. And I was
like... you do, right?
I was like, no, we can't do that.
Because we were all on a shoestring budget, right? Yeah, and young and didn't have any savings, so that's right. Yes, I do remember that. So, yeah, that was pretty reckless, wasn't it? Nonchalant, just stick out your thumb and let's just get in the car with whoever stops.
Yes.
I mean, not really thinking about consequences or what potentially could happen, or, just like,
I think
fancy free.
We had a bit of a false sense of security because it's Japan. Things are very safe there. I would say it's not as safe for foreigners, but at the time we were like, this is great. And so we jump in the car And that's where things go downhill because Mon still wants to drink, so she got a bottle of scotch for her birthday and goes, let's open this. And you start passing it to me. I don't know if I was in the back or the front, but I'm like, oh, yeah. And I've never had that kind of spirit before. Like, never.
Right, yeah, it's heavy stuff, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't really think that one through, did I?
No.
I just wanted to keep on going and have a good time.
But we were 20, so that's what you do.
Exactly,
Well, you were 21. So anyway, off we go, and very soon I'm feeling sick, and I've said, I've got to stop. And there's two guys, they're Japanese, and you're pretending you already knew Japanese by that stage. So I feel like you'd been there a bit longer because I didn't know anything. Did you know Japanese before you went to Japan?
Not a word.
Okay, same. But you had, well, definitely more experience than me. I was like all over the shop. And so you were being coy about your level of language, but you were telling them, we need to stop. I'm going to be sick. You're like, no. I said, no, I'm going to be sick. And then I opened the door. They stopped. And I did a spew, this little one. And I remember you clearly saying, that's the cutest spew I've ever seen. And I was like, okay.
So I was still coherent.
Yes, I felt better. Then they took us to a love hotel. So love hotels in Japan are places we go for fun, which I didn't know existed. I was like, we need to get out of here. I think they took us to the airport as well because that's another love destination in Japan. Like, it's kind of romantic to go to an airport. But bless these guys, they had no clue about the two girls they'd picked up because we were kind of like shy at first and like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. But we weren't interested at all. We literally just wanted to lift home.
We just wanted to lift home and to save money. We weren't really interested in interacting or flirting, were we? Or just, we just wanted to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
They thought, don't know what they thought. Maybe all their Christmases have come at once or something.
Maybe.
Or they wanted to practice their English or...
Yeah.
So their, I think, ulterior motive might have been a little bit different.
It was a little bit different.
Yes.
Which is fair, well, whatever.
But in the beginning, they were very chivalrous and polite, and I don't think there was a lot of in-depth language exchange. I think I spoke a little what you call maybe pidgin Japanese, but I could communicate, and that's right. Continue with the story.
I think we got a bit scared at one stage, and then because they were like being a bit like, no, we're not going to do that, and then you got stroppy, and you just started like battering out a few words.
That's right.
And they shat themselves.
That's right. Because you were like, a little bit assertive because I think their intention was to go into Love Hotel.
Yes,
right?
Yeah. So you got assertive, and then they like shat themselves. We went to a tram station, and I knew that you had to go over, you couldn't go over the tracks with the car. So I got them to drop us off on one side and we ran over the tracks so they couldn't follow us, and then we just ran to my place. So it was wild, it was exciting, it was crazy.
At the time it was, it was cheeky, wasn't it? It was naughty, it was risque. But you obviously still had your wits about you because thank God for that cute little spew. Because you...
Yes. Yeah, and
you didn't get them to drop us off right in front of your house where...
That's right.
It would have been worse.
Literally, though, I cannot drink scotch since that night. Like... Cannot. I don't think I've ever had scotch since then, and
even the smell of it.
Oh, disgusting! Like so, thanks for that.
But that's probably a good
godsend.
thing, Yeah.
It's good.
Thank me for that.
It's good. I think the hardest part about that day was the next morning when we had. I got a phone call and I realised I'd had planned a day with my students there who were like, I don't know, 11 or 12, and so I was supposed to I had cars. I was supposed to pick them up and bring them over. So I had to get myself ready straight away, and I gave you some money to go down to the shops and get some food,
get
and
some
come back.
Snacks,
and then they came and spent a day with two hungover women. As their English experience, which is terrible. But anyway,
very professional.
But they loved it.
They did love it.
They did love it. They were really cute kids.
We woke up like we had a lobotomy.
Oh no, it was.
How are we going to get through this day? So I think we just got lots of salty snacks.
Yes.
So yes.
And I think that was
the hangover, and we got through it, didn't we?
Oh yeah. And I think then the rest of my year there was just a lot of nights like that. No more hitchhiking, but a lot of...
Yeah, I don't think it was a structured English course or language, but we had fun. We played games and they laughed a lot.
We had a great time. And I think the hardest part was telling them our names because you were Monica and I was Moniku. Moniku. And... I don't know if this happened with you, but I think it definitely happened with Bianca.
Okay.
You know how in Japan, they're very structured. So, this is what the expectation is. And I remember I had my class that I was going to at 8 o'clock, right? So they're looking at the door expecting me to come through. But Bianca walked through first. And Bianca has got, lighter brown hair than you, but light brown, big curly hair. And they said, "Oh, hello, Moniku." Because apparently I've heard that many times when I was there, I'm sure you have too, that we all look the same.
Sure.
And then I walk through and then they're like, nandato. What is this? Like, why is there two of them? And I'm like, oh my God, we look like completely different. But anyway, it was kind of funny.
They saw you as twins.
Yes, and I think our name kind of did that, but it was very different reputations for us, I think. Monica and Moniku. Monica wild, Moniku boring.
Good time. No. It was good times, wasn't it?
It was very good times. It was fun.
Big part of it. A lot of alcohol involved. A lot of nomi hore, which means all you can drink. What are you going to do?
No, they literally had, it was senen, so
yeah,
$10.
Yep.
All you can drink for 4 hours. Yeah, that's nuts.
I know.
So when a group of Australians arrive, that's crazy. Were you there when the HMS Melbourne and Sydney came in?
Yeah.
Were you there that night?
I don't think I was there with you that night, but that was a crazy night too. It was just, it was all about partying, wasn't it? Having fun, letting loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
So I was with Yumiko that night, and so it was me, ran into all of them, and I said, come to this thing tonight, it's all you can drink for Senen. And they all did come, and within hours I was on a table singing "Left My Heart Just Around Kaysan," and it was nuts. And then we went to Down Under. What was his name? Who had the bar Down Under? Shin,
I think so.
Yeah. He was. Yeah. Anyway, it was good times.
Good times, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I know.
But so I was an English teacher, and you did English teaching, but you also did
little bit of hostessing on the side.
So tell everyone what hostessing is.
Well, hostessing is, in Japan they have different bars, and a lot of these salarymen or businessmen.
Salaryman.
It's just kind of, I guess, an escape from the reality of their lives, or maybe the humdrum, or they go and they get catered to and for, and you look back and you go, it's very what's the word, it's, I don't know, is it sexist or and all that,
it was a big part of the culture though, so it was expected.
Part of the culture. The
wives knew it. They go there, they have, like, you pour their drink, you get their food.
Exactly.
Like, you're literally just a waitress, right?
Like a glory. You sit next to them, you chat to them, you light their cigarettes, you pour their drinks, you laugh at their jokes. It's pretty good remuneration. And I did it, I think, just it was something different. It was pretty good remuneration, and it helped, and I met some really decent people, and I could obviously practice my Japanese. Well, I practice it everywhere there, right?
Yeah.
Japanese, because, English speakers were few and far between.
So
it was just a novel thing, and to break it up, teaching English, I did it, I think, one night a week, every Friday night. It helped me learn and speak kanji, like when they're because karaoke is a huge thing over there, right?
I know.
So when they are singing karaoke, I'd just be sitting there and looking and reading all the symbols, and that would help too. So I never felt really, I did it because I wanted to. I never felt exploited.
Because you didn't go to next level. People could do that in other areas, right?
Oh, of course they do. There's that aspect, of course,
but you had the choice, level, which is good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I never felt like uncomfortable or threatened, or and it was the mama-san was there, older lady in a very traditional, authentic kimono, and I was the only foreigner, or and it was a real novelty. It was great. They treated me with respect.
It's 33 years ago, and it was very different. And people always imagine that every part of Japan is like Tokyo, right? Like the things that you see on TV. But we were in like a country setting, to the point where when we came back, I don't know if it happened to you, but people would say to me, "Oh, you've got like a country accent in Japanese. And I didn't even think of that when I was learning it, that, I had an accent. I was like, what? I'm just speaking that. But of course, because we had the same thing when people came to different parts of our country and you'd go back there. And I remember one of them, she's Yumiko. She said, it's cucking fold. I said, what? And I couldn't understand what she was saying. She goes, it's cucking fold. And I said, what are you saying? And she goes, it's fucking cold. Don't you ever say that? I was like, oh my God, I didn't expect you to say the actual thing, but she stayed in a country like, kind of thing here. So it was that she had that. So of course we had the same when we came back. They say Kagoshima Ben. Yeah, Kagoshima Ben. So we had that, which was quite funny.
It was really rural, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I think there was probably about 20 of us that were there. In a city at the time was 500,000. So we were a rare breed to the point of like, I was driving, that was like very rare. People would nearly have car accidents seeing me in the car. People would ask me when we go into like a 7-Eleven, or Dosan, or Super. And I remember just over the microphone, I could hear them going, we've got a gaijin, we've got a foreigner in here. And I'm like listening to it after I understood it, I can hear them and they're like, she's buying bread. They were narrating what I was doing in the 7-Eleven equivalent, right? Yeah. So, and I remember I came up and they were like, how tall are you? And they're like, Hyaku, what is it? Hyaku knee or something, I was like 172 centimetres, They were so amazed by everything that we did.
That's right, because they weren't exposed, a lot of Japanese weren't exposed to foreigners or culture. Or
it was only movies, and they were very literal about seeing what was on the movie was what was real life.
There's good, bad and ugly everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And, if you're not careful, things can happen. We were lucky, we were carefree, and it is safe generally, like houses, right? They got vending machines, and what country can you have vending machines and just, or tobacco and
beer.
Yeah, if that wouldn't last 2 seconds here, it'd probably get smashed,
True,
right?
So
all those aspects are amazing.
Pretty amazing.
But, I had a few hairy moments. I remember, do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, sure.
Hello, Kikikin. So there's a word called chikan, like
I know that.
Japanese men, and for whatever reason, that can be a topic of another conversation. They're into stealing underwear from the line. Obviously, they're very sexually oppressed, some people, and so that's a thing. And I remember living in a little cul-de-sac with my then partner, but he wasn't living with me, and it was an apartment, and I was very cognizant of when my neighbours came home, Japanese couple. So it was kind of a quiet area in the country, and I think I was, if I can recall, expecting my then partner to come soon or come at some point, and I'd always know, there was no mobiles. I don't think even
no.
had
Oh
mobiles
no,
then.
no.
There's
no internet.
No mobiles, no internet. That's right. Jeez. Yeah, ancient times, hey?
Yeah, when I used to call home, even international numbers, I had a special international phone that I had to go to with a special card to make that call. Hilarious.
It's insane to think now, isn't it?
It is.
So I'm watching TV, but I don't know what I was doing. Let's say I was watching TV, I guess, at night under my little kotatsu Japanese table.
Oh, I love
because I had a very
kotatsu.
Authentic Japanese apartment with the tatami mats and watching TV, Japanese TV, not really understanding it, but biding my time and...
Iron Chef! That's what we were watching.
Chef.
We love
God.
that.
So I heard these footsteps and this shadow in my peripheral vision outside the kitchen where the patio was, and it wasn't next door because I'd already heard them come in and lock their door. There was a routine, and subconsciously you're aware of that when your neighbours are home. And then I heard this, I was like, this is a bit weird, and then I didn't, when something happens, you're not really aware, but then it was just like, hang it. I got this intuition or this kind of adrenal dump or this sixth sense. I was like, something's not right.
Yeah.
And turned around and there was this shadow, and it was that kind of glass where you can't see it's not transparent. You can't see it clearly, but you can just see a silhouette.
Yes.
And I was like, oh no, Jesus, don't tell me there's someone out there. Oh, and then, the heart rate started increasing, the sweat beads started coming. I was like, it didn't feel right.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was hearing click, click outside the clothesline. And
someone's bringing in my washing. But no.
How considerate.
Yes.
And I had one of those, I don't know what you call those little slots. You know, you put the letters in.
Oh,
the
yeah,
mail.
yeah.
I don't, and I guess they're like for
for
peeping Toms. So I turned the lights off in the lounge, and I could hear the click click outside, and then the little. It was like a steel trap.
Yes, yeah.
And I could hear that going back and forth. And then I peered around and there's two eyes. And that's when I saw the two eyes. And that's when I freaked out a little bit, right? For a millisecond, the adrenal dump. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, there's someone perving at me. What a horrible sensation as a woman, right?
Yeah, no, that's scary.
Yeah. So I thought, you're on your own here, Mon. What are you going to do? And I was very partial to a beer back then, or two. So I had a nice collection of empty bottles of Asahi or Kirin and Sapporo, probably all three. And I turned the lights off, and I was like, you're going to have to chase him out or do something, right?
Wow.
Do you know this story?
Yeah, but I haven't remembered it. But as you're saying it.
So I switched the lights off, and I crawled on all fours, and the heart rate's going up.
You're so good.
I grabbed the beer bottle, and I'm like, I'm going to take this fucker out, right? Because he's freaking me out, and I have to do something. It's do or die, and he's gonna, and I'm, I can't call anyone, right?
Yeah.
So.
But can he see you crawling and doing all of that?
No, because I switched all the lights off, but I could still hear him pacing, and I was like, ready, 3, 2, 1, and I opened the door, and in Japanese, I was like, "Anata wa nani mitaru da yo, anata wa baka yoro, anata wa korosu." Something like it translates like, "What are you looking at, you fucking perv?
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you, you silly old prick." And he was like,
yeah, he would have freaked.
And I was dressed in something like that, so he freaked out, and I was so worked up because of the adrenaline.
Yeah.
So I grabbed the bottle, and he took off, and I took off, and he took off, and I started chasing him down. And
you're not letting him go.
Yeah. And then I just threw the beer bottle. It didn't hit him, but because I was so worked up and freaked out and shaking, right? Yeah, because
he would never come back.
I know,
like crazy
he was
foreigner.
Probably innocuous, and he was probably just a frightened old perv. But you don't know these things, right? You don't know what anyone's capable of. So that wasn't a great experience. So then my partner came, and I told him, and I think we reported or went down the cops. I can't really remember, but lots of incidents like that where you're followed and kind of stalked a little bit. Because
I've had us, asking me how much, and I was literally just standing out the front of a shop, like as in waiting for my friends.
Did you say it in Japanese or?
No, in English.
How much?
Yeah. Oh, no, maybe, ikura. They'd say it like really like, ikura. Like, on the side. Like
sleazy.
just because they didn't want other people to hear, And I'm like, no. And then I learnt the word chikan, and I was like, chikanda.
Did you? Yeah,
I was like, nah. But I remember I used to, people would come and hug you in the street. This was not so scary, daytime, and females and males would do that. But they'd be like, oh, can I have some hair? Because I had long blonde hair then, So I'd pull it out, and as a joke, I'd go, hyakuen, give me $1. And then I'd just give it to free, and they'd wrap it around their finger and take it home. And I'm like, okay, this is
that could have been your little side hustle, Mon.
Selling hair.
You might have been
Come
bald,
back bald.
But who gives a fuck? You'd be a millionaire, right?
Keep growing it, yeah. Yeah. I think one of the things that made me feel safe there is I'm a taller woman, and the frame of a typical Japanese guy was not, as scary. So I think that was helpful because I was often taller.
That's a good way to say it. Yeah, not very intimidating. They're framed.
From a physical perspective. I think it'd be different if you're somewhere else, because they did have this expectation, just like the movies, that you walk up to a foreigner and then just say, oh, yeah, I like you, let's sleep together. And that's obviously not how it works. So, but they were very shocked by that and very, very immature in that way. So, it was quite different.
That's
I mean, we
very
haven't
true.
had, when I would go to teach classes when I first met them, some of the children were crying because they were scared of me and it needed to be introduced slowly to me to touch and everything, because I don't know if you know, remember, but I would drive out to the Kuomingkan, which is like the community centres. So I'd drive like hours, do a circuit, and I'd drive probably 3 hours in a day to different community centres up in the mountains and, rice paddy areas. So they were very country there, and they didn't see people like me walking around. So it was quite a shock, which was fascinating to me. Like, I was like, this is unbelievable. Like, as a 20-year-old to experience that was just
transported, right?
It was. You were literally, I can see how people didn't last very long time. Some people would arrive and we'd be like, you'd meet them and go, oh, I'll give it 2 weeks, because it's such a culture shock. If there's no English, we didn't have, even, I think Melrose Place was on once a week on Wow Wow. Wow Wow, it was the cable channel. And I didn't have Wow Wow, but when I stayed with our host...
Oh, the homestay that I introduced you to, that I initially did, yes. So, it was lacking sometimes. Yeah, it was a great experience and novel, but sometimes it could be a lonely ride because of lack of connection with other people or speaking, your own language. And, it could be quite isolating, couldn't it?
But it was amazing for learning another language. It was immersion at its height.
God. Yeah,
we didn't have a choice.
Pros and cons. Oh, yeah, it was incredible. Like,
which
pros definitely outweigh the cons, but it was, there was challenges as well. But that, gave us resilience too, didn't it?
It did. And I only lasted 2 years in Japan. When I say lasted, it was just my plan. It was 1 year, and then I went away for a while and came back for another year. By the way. Yes. Oh, yes, this is your rider. It's just nuts. Oh, Monica's very healthy.
Nice,
so
healthy
nuts. We don't have any lollies today. We can't have lollies. We can't have, but we don't have lollies.
We choose not to have.
We choose not to have those. So it's very healthy mixed nuts over here.
Would you like some snacks?
Thank you.
Yummy.
How long did you live in Japan for?
12 years.
Oh my gosh. So your fluency was really good. How is it now?
Well, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? Skawanai to wasare chao. Meaning, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So, yeah, I'm not really... Yeah, so, no, my life is...
You taught me heaps of Japanese there.
Wait, did I?
Yeah. You were a great teacher. Like, just... I think, actually, when we were at my place, we looked out the window and there was a guy there on a ladder. And he looked at us and went, Bikurishita. And I was like, oh, what does that mean? And you're like, you've never heard Bikurishita before?
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, no. And that was like, I'm surprised.
Shocked.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes the key words or just the vocab or
well, the aisatsu, once you've learned the aisatsu, it's very easy to kind of pick it up. They've just got their... Like, what I found really interesting about Japanese is that we might say long time no see, or oh my god, who are you? Hello stranger. We've got all these different ways of saying something, but they literally have a very standard package of what you say. So it's hisashiburu desu ne. Hisashiburi, yeah. Hisashiburi desu ne. So that's it, and that's what's said all the time. So once you've learned that, I think it's really good for conversation. Cause
and the key words and introducing yourself, and it's also about the accent and the intonation, isn't it?
Yep, the country bumpkin.
Yep. Not. Yeah, so you've got the Australian lingo when you're speaking Japanese. Yeah. So that's
So that was a lifetime ago.
12 years.
12 years. And then
it came back to Sydney at 32, and then we didn't connect for a while.
Oh, that's right. So you were in Sydney, and I'm from the Gold Coast. So I think I was. So I'd been to Japan a couple of years, back to the Gold Coast. Then I was in England for a couple of years, came back. Then I was in Canada for a couple of years.
Right. Yeah, you.
And then I came back. And then one time, I don't know if you called me or something, and we were just chatting, and I had no idea where you were. And I said, oh, where are you? I think you said, where am I? And I said, oh, I've actually moved to Sydney. And you were like, no way, I live in Sydney. I was like, no, where do you live? And Sydney's huge, right?
Massive.
Huge. So I said, oh, I'm in Waverton. And I think you just lost your mind. And you were like, I'm in Greenwich.
In Greenwich.
I was like, where's that?
That's right.
And it was literally, what was it, 5 minutes in the car?
Not far at all, not far.
And I said, give me your address, I'm coming over. And it was game over.
Game over. Connected again.
It was just like back in Japan again all over. And
that was awesome, wasn't it?
It was so good. So we had a lot of fun times in there, which was just great and so amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely, just connecting again.
Yeah.
All. Yeah, that was good.
And so now you're in Cairns.
And now I'm in Cairns.
Loving Cairns. And now if we just like fast forward all those years, we're both at an age. What is that age, Mon?
What is that age? Aging strong. Ageism. We are menopause.
Yep.
That's okay. What just means different transition.
Yes. So you're quite passionate about it, though, aren't you? More so than, say, I'm not passionate about menopause. I'm not loving it. But
not enthralled by it. Just accepting it and trying to understand the transition and what's happening with women and our bodies and our minds.
Yep.
And basically trying to understand why there's not a lot of education about it. And so when I went through it, I educated myself and I became a consultant to basically just help women, accept what's going on and understand what's happening and implement strategies so they can have the tools to help themselves a little bit more and normalise it. You know what I mean? So it's not a stigma or, yes, we are ageing, but if, we can still age strong and we can still be sexy as we age. And there's a lot of things that we can do, but like everything, it's about education, awareness. For men too, men need to understand this, and it can happen. Perimenopause can start as early as or prematurely as 35.
It's a slow process, isn't it? And it's different for everybody. Yeah. I think what's interesting too is that we're one of the generations that have been through before us. Typically women worked from home. We're stay-at-home mums. So perhaps their menopausal journey was different. I'm not saying that it's easier to stay at home, but typically by the time they'd get to that age, their children had grown up. They weren't working. So the impact on life was significant, I'm sure, but different to what we have now. And like even my mum, she was working, at that age. We're working, I'm a single mum, we're working, we're doing all of the things. We've got mortgages and we've got menopause, which is quite debilitating to the point where the fastest growing low socioeconomic and homelessness is the menopausal aged woman.
Absolutely.
That is where it sits because it's so debilitating that, and we've discussed, I've had moments, where all my joints didn't work and, it goes for 3 months and you think, is this like, I think we said today, you're like, is that the new norm? Is that my new baseline? Is that who I am now? And without all the information and the fact that we know that a lot of medical systems have been built around, the male part of it and not understanding female. So we're just getting more into it now, and I'm really glad you're going into this area because it's so beautiful to have more of that consideration and just more information and help us to get through that because it's not just something that can be swept to the side.
I know.
Some people don't get that affected by it, but many people are very much affected by it. It's not just the physical stuff, it's the emotional stuff as well.
Yeah, that's right, absolutely. And, life can be challenging enough as it is with our responsibilities and earning money and motherhood and kids and, work life and balance. But when it's all about hormones and your body's changing and as a consequence all these other, symptoms, myriad of symptoms. They say there's about 77 and not every person is going to experience that. Everyone's different. And with the ageing process and maybe feeling redundant in society as a woman because you're a certain vintage, it doesn't have to be like that. So it's about...
Well, it's called the invisible, women becoming invisible. That's one of those things that they say they're going through, which I don't think is, what's happening now. I think we've got
it's
much
changing.
more ability.
It's just, well, the internet's exploding with all this stuff, and this is why, we can still age strong and be very capable and contribute and not be redundant. But it's important, I think, for women of all ages and to understand even younger girls. I mean, younger girls aren't thinking of menopause, obviously, but to understand what's happening when they're going through puberty, it's really important.
Yes,
Understanding their body, embracing their body, loving themselves, understanding the cycle, because that's what it's about. Where
it's very much like puberty, going through menopause. It reminds me of that era.
Yeah, I know.
That time of just unsteadiness and feeling very different. The hormones like going in different directions. That was
we're basically infertile, and that's okay. So let's embrace that. We don't have the responsibility of getting pregnant or having children anymore. But if we don't have the right kind of hormone replacement, and that's a topic for another day, then you know it's pretty much imminent. You are really going to go through a hard time. The fogginess, the lack of mental acuity, the body composition changes, the feeling of feeling redundant. And if you don't know what's going on, and life's tough anyway, it's got to be so overwhelming and depressing, and for a lot of women, and the people around us as well are affected. So we don't even know what's going on ourselves. So this is why it's all about education, right? Like, my
first clues were more emotional than anything else. So obviously irregulated, monthly cycle. That was, but I wasn't always regular. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And you know about it. Like, to be fair, I've heard about menopause before, but when you're young and you don't think, you go, oh, you sort of roll your eyes, you go, oh, okay, someone's getting, it's not relevant to you until it's right in front of you. So anyway, I think my first clue was my husband at the time, we were just talking about stuff, and we were watching something with Lindsay Lohan or whatever, and we just had a little bit of a tiff about what was said or something on there. I went from I'm a pretty calm, happy-go-lucky person, but I went from 0 to 1,000. I was so upset about this Lindsay Lohan thing because it's really important to my life, but I was so upset.
Pertinent to the state of affairs in the world, isn't it?
I was just so upset, and on the inside I was just burning, and I don't think I'd ever had that feeling before. It was like a coil inside me that was ready just to explode, and I had a glass in my hand, and I remember looking at the window going, I'm just going to throw this glass through that window. I'm so angry right now. I'm going to throw the glass.
So you were very dysregulated.
I was emotionally dysregulated.
And your your conflict resolution was not so good.
Oh, no.
That's better. Yeah. I know.
I'll be thankful that I didn't throw the glass through the window, but I remember just sitting there staring most of the time, and he was uncomfortable. At one stage, he's like what? And I was like I just couldn't, and because that wasn't who I was, and I think he knew, let's not say anything else. And the next day I said, I had a bit of a moment. He's like, yeah, you did.
That's one example of one person at one time. Imagine all the other women that have had, it's just, I know, dysregulated because we don't have the hormones to regulate our, emotions. And
nothing's quite... It's very the anxiety, and it's very overproduced, and I think about 2 months after that, he came home, and every day he came home I was crying 5 days straight about climate change. And I do care about climate change. I care about the stuff, but not that much. I mean, I do, but I was devastated. Why did we have a child? Why would we bring them into this world? And he was after the 2 days, I think we need to go and talk to someone about what's going on here. And, it was kind of the first realisation that and it really just felt like aggressive PMS, really. That's, I didn't really have a massive PMS thing. It was a little bit, edgy, but this was very compounded. And I was I probably need to look into this a bit more, which, and then came the aches and the pains and
the instability, the instability of emotions. It's horrible. Basically, no coping mechanisms, right?
No. Did you have any things like that as well?
Yeah, all of it, everything.
We don't talk about it.
Yeah, we can. I'm just remembering, obviously. Oh my god,
PTSD.
Horrible.
Really?
Yeah, terrible, because I didn't know what was happening, and that's what kind of, I guess, was the trigger for me to educate myself a little bit more about what was happening and why.
Yeah.
And to implement strategies from a lot of these other experts and evidence-based research that a lot of these professional doctors and women have done all over the world. So in relation to, kind of the right kind of hormone replacement and debunking all the myths and, everything from exercise to eating the right food and portion control and why things change. It's just understanding what's happening and why, You'd be able to control your cravings and now you can't. It's all got to do with the hormone regulation. So, not a good time waking up in pools of sweat, body composition changes, which I didn't like and wasn't happy with, and all kinds of things. Depression, horrific. Like walking through molasses. Mental acuity was diminished and just not coping and negative. I'm sure a lot of women can relate to this. Just horrible.
I remember... because we don't live close to each other, and we were just saying last night it's been a few years since we've seen each other.
It's insane. That will never happen again. We should never leave it that long.
But we've always had a connection and always, managed to catch up and everything, which is good. But I do remember a couple of phone calls where you were just not right, and I think I didn't click at first what was going on. And to be fair, I'm also going through my own.
No.
So you just kind of have this, when you're going through it at the same time, there's an awareness, but there's also a
it's
survival.
Like going through quicksand because you're in fight or fight and stuff for yourself, so you can't be there in the capacity that maybe your friends want you to because you're going through hell yourself. Yeah, and I had moments where I was just only just getting on top of each day, hadn't done the washing, hadn't done this, hadn't done that. It was just so hard to get through. Like you said, that's a really good description, like the molasses of going
that.
Through molasses, and
I remember you called me out a bit because you were like, I've needed you, and I was like, I didn't even know, which was fair.
I don't even remember.
No, but there was nothing wrong with it. No, it's because you did, and you had expressed, and when I looked back at it, I was like, actually, she has said she wants to talk to me, and I just haven't prioritized it. And so when we did, we got to talk about the things, and then it sort of came through. But that's what happens, and I think we really need to remember our village and do all those things because who else is going to understand it?
Yeah, I know. If you've that's the difference between sympathy and empathy. Is that when you've had lived experience, you can really empathise with someone because they're going through it. And it's a tough time, and women experience differently, and not people have exactly the same symptoms. However, it is imminent. It doesn't have to be suffering. You can still age strong if you've got the right strategies, but it is awful because things seem insurmountable, and you ruminate and you lament, and your head's just not right, isn't it? Life's tough.
Very foggy.
It is. So
one thing I thought was interesting is because you've always had a really positive, healthy mindset. And just the way that you approach eating and exercise, it's always been really solid. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you had this idea that menopause was not going to be a problem,
just basically uneducated, naive, and ignorant, and because I just simply didn't know. You don't know what you don't know, right?
So even with all of those things in place, it's now opened up a whole new world for you to the point where you're starting to consult with people to. Because you've had to learn it for yourself. So you've gone deep into it, and you've actually shared with me some amazing insights about, we know you've got to eat healthy food, plant-based, make sure, less processed food. These are the basic things we know. But I think
emphasising that again and explaining to people that, you still got to live your life, but strategies and just simplifying things and modifying a few things in relation to lifestyle that can really help you through the transition, and how to maybe self-love and not compare yourself to other people or lament the past, and focus on what we can do, not what we can't. There's heaps of other strategies like mindfulness and yoga and meditation and connecting with other women over a glass of wine. Well,
just the
even
one?
Drinking now, isn't it? It's just I hear from a lot of friends too, and alcohol and menopause are not mixed, but you just can't handle it as much. Yeah, and that's an aging thing as well, right?
Yeah.
But, again, if it's in moderation, you're doing a lot of things well, the odd whatever Friday night or drink is fine. But, yeah, that's connecting with women is really important, and people want to know that they're supported and seen, loved and heard. Everybody wants to be seen, loved and heard. And I think it's important for men to be educated about this as well, because the rate of divorce through this transition worldwide is just increasing. It's just incredible, yeah.
I don't think it's just the menopause, though. I think there's lots of other things that come into it, but it's definitely one of the factors.
That's a pertinent point. Yeah. It's not just menopause, but it's other factors. But the rate for divorce during that stage is quite significant. I think because I think the mortality of it as well just brings you back, doesn't it? Like the idea that because you do start to feel like, oh my gosh, my body is wasting away here. What do I do? And so it starts you think, okay, how do I best spend my time? What do I do? Am I happy? Am I doing all of these things? So it's a real adjustment. But it's good. But there's a good part to it as well, because you do get to discover more and the wisdom of that. But I'm really glad that you're working in that space and doing that. And I am. Thanks, Mons. Thank you. I look forward to helping women and connecting with women, and so they can help each other and listen to their stories and make some positive changes. And it's exciting. It is. Yeah.
I have a funny story to remember about you when you called me after your driving test.
Go for it. How many moons ago was that?
I don't even know, but I just got a call from you and you were like, oh, I'm really upset. I said, what happened? What's wrong? Like, oh, I've just had my 3rd driving test.
But we have to put into context. I didn't have a driver's license because I'd lived in Japan for so long.
Right.
And I just moved back to Sydney.
So how old were you?
Yeah, 32. Are you laughing at me, bitch? I didn't.
Sorry.
That's all right.
You had no experience.
As long as I made you laugh, I didn't need a license, and I left so young.
No, that's fine. If you didn't need it, you didn't need it. Yeah.
I went to America when I was like 18, 19, so I didn't have time. Yeah, so I didn't have a license basically, and that was fine. But I needed one when I got back to Sydney, right? To integrate back into
And Sydney's the worst place to learn how to drive.
Oh my God,
it's nuts.
I can't believe I didn't kill myself or someone else. I know it was all very overwhelming, but I got lessons because it was a bit. It wasn't really practical for my partner to teach me, because my then partner, as amazing as he wasn't really tolerant, or he wasn't the right person. You need the right kind of person.
Often it's not, because it's probably better to get a stranger to do it.
Yeah, so I got lessons, and then I was feeling a bit more confident, and I had a job where I really needed a license, and the pressure was on. So
What happened in the first test? Because I only know what happened in the 3rd test, but don't tell the story of the 3rd test until I do. Should I tell the story of the 3rd test, and then we can? Do you remember the other tests?
Not really.
Okay. Well, the 3rd test.
I don't think I'd failed it 3 times.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it was the 2nd.
I think you're embellishing.
Am I embellishing?
Oh, embarrassing me. No. I think it was 2nd. I think can't remember.
Anyway.
It was 2nd. Doesn't matter.
All right.
Yeah, anyway.
Let's just say it was a driving test. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
So
it does. I don't want people to know that I failed a fucking driving test 3 times.
Sorry.
I don't really care. It's all
whatever good. Driving test it was, you're like, I'm really upset. I said, what happened? I failed my driving test. And, oh my God, what happened? You're like, honestly, I only touched the other car. Like, just touched it. And I was like, pretty sure that's an automatic fail, Mon. Like, we're not supposed to touch the other cars when we're driving. But you were genuinely like, what's the big deal? Like, how did you touch the other car?
Reverse. Reversing?
Like as in a parked car?
I think I was doing I think it was time to do the reverse
parallel
parking.
park. Yeah.
Maybe it was a parallel. I can't even remember now. So long ago, it's all a blur. But I do remember. I do remember touching. I was like, "What's the big deal? Just a fucking scratch." No, I didn't say that. But like.
And then they're like, fail.
Or automatic.
Anyway, then you got it, and it was fine. Everything's good.
Throwing the Jeep in the traffic of Sydney.
Yeah.
Wow.
I still am a bit.
Swim, right?
I'm a bit white knuckled.
What do you mean?
With you.
What, as a passenger?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
When have you ever been in the car with me?
In Cairns.
Right. And I got you from A to B safe and sound, didn't I?
Oh, I was alive.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Everything was great. Yeah. I think it's
So
just...
you're white knuckled, so that's your issue, not my issue.
Okay.
You can choose to live in... Oh, what? Oh, was it good?
Choose to live in fear? Is that what it is? It was fine. It was just
When
a
was
different
I driving?
style.
I can't even remember.
Oh, so you know where you used to live in the house, and then as you come out of that, I think they changed the thing, but you're supposed to give way, but you're used to it.
I don't even remember.
And you just like zoom through, and I'm like, I just wasn't prepared. Like, I'm used to slow down and to give way. Maybe have a little look. You're like, did
I?
Yes.
Oh gosh, sorry about that.
Another time when Michelle, you drove Michelle and I to the airport, and
You'd have to.
It was early morning. This is after your 50th.
After my 50th.
Your 50th,
okay.
yeah, which is so sweet. You did not. I was like, no, we'll Uber.
Oh, I picked you up, did I? And drove you from your hotel.
Must have, yes. And you're like, I'm still hungover. But no, you were fine. But you were just, the way that you said it was just so funny. We were like laughing. Oh my gosh, nuts.
Because it was a good night.
It was so good. Karaoke, we love it. I'm just checking my notes to see if I've got anything else here. Can you see that one? Hammer computer.
Oh no! Don't bring that up.
Okay, we'll leave that.
No, you can bring it up, but my God, you can tell the story. I don't know. That wasn't menopause. That was just I was angry.
Yeah, that's why I'm terrified of you in menopause.
Yeah, it have to be. I've got my strategies. It's all good.
Yeah, you're all good. All calm. But I did want to talk, just if you can, we can talk a little bit about your mum.
Okay.
Because this is a pretty amazing story. So if we can just have a quick kind of overview of what's happened with your mum and what you've been through the last, 6 months, really?
Yeah. Pretty full on. So Mum had a really bad cough, an incessant cough, and it wasn't getting any better. So not last year, the year before, December, let's say last year, January.
And I remember you talking about that, actually. I remember you saying, Mum just has this cough, it won't go away. And, because of COVID and all these things, we kind of talk about those things. But this was just not going anywhere. Yeah,
and certain times of year, people getting flus and colds. But I guess a pivotal point, you went to the GP 3 times to get antibiotics. And there was no relief and nothing was improving. And I went down in the January and, it was a pretty bad cough. And from my background being a nurse, I knew that it sounded like what I thought might have been emphysema or, another worst case scenario, because it just wasn't getting better.
Because she was a smoker too in the past?
In past, but not an incessant smoker. Not like a chain, but she only been smoking since she got divorced from Dad, so probably, 10, 15 years?
Yep.
Yeah, so not since the age of 13 or 14 or anything. And... so short version, she couldn't get any answers or any relief from this cough, and it was just getting worse. And Mum, being of that ilk, not really proactive or preventative with her health, just enduring and accepting what the doctors are saying. I kind of begged her to go to the doctors and get some scans, and she did. It got to the point where she went down the street and she nearly had to call an ambulance because she couldn't even, just her lack of oxygen, and she was so bad at that point. But she made it to the doctors, they got scans and basically rushed her straight into the hospital. And at that point, my intuition and sixth sense told me it wasn't going to be a great outcome. I'm a positive person and I didn't want to be negative, but I could just see from her symptoms and her deterioration that, So the outcome was 4th grade metastatic lung cancer, which is quite dire. And, so it was inoperable and chemo wasn't an option, so pretty bad. Yeah. So
devastating, right?
Devastating, yeah, absolutely devastating. So, so at that point, my partner and I, who is from Cairns as well, has had a form of skin cancer, and he treated it with on his own, through his own resources and education. He didn't want to go through chemo or any other pharmaceuticals. So he actually embraced through a cancer naturopath 100% plant-based alkaline nutrition to support his body, because you know, a lot of naughty food you can get which cause acidity in the body, which causes inflammation, which causes cancer, right? So really clean living for him. And also the protocol was tetrahydrocannabis, so basically marijuana, imported from overseas, and he did that as well. Administered it 3 times a day. And after 12 weeks of this quite rigid, alkaline, sugar-free, plant-based, because the pertinent points are, no animal product because that can cause inflammation, no cured meats, no cheeses, just 100% plant-based, no sugar because cancer will uptake sugar. Just for the viewers that aren't aware of that, and there's not a lot of information about that or education. What does the cannabis do? Like, is that for relief of pain, or what is that? Actually, that's a really good question. It works like chemo does without the side effects. I mean, you can get drowsy, so it actually causes cells to commit suicide, because once you get chemo you can obliterate all the good cells too, right? That's one of the the bad side effects of it. THC will prevent cancer. Is a disease of replication, cell mitosis, cells. So the THC basically stops that, and it causes the cancer cells to commit suicide, and there's a lot of doctors out there doing this clandestine for their patients, but not able to practice in, We're not there with the laws yet. Like, exactly. Places like Canada are doing that. So different areas, So, so he got onto this protocol, and we were like, this is the only option for Mum. So I presented this to her, and she was like, let's go for it. And she was very unwell. She was very hypoxic. It was... What does hypoxic mean? Oh, sorry. That's all right. I'm not a nurse. So no, she didn't have a lot of blood flow or oxygen. She looked really unwell. Like, basically like death warmed up, and she was coughing incessantly. Her baseline, her quality of life was diminishing because she could hardly walk to the toilet. So I came down with her and, basically talked her through, guided her through this protocol. And when you've got nothing else and someone presents you with something, it's better than nothing, right? Exactly, if we can't do chemo and all the things. And there were no guarantees. We don't know what all this is going to look like. But after, so, we prepped the food. We went to the organic farms. We and my brother and his girlfriend was down there, and they were very supportive, and all my family were really open to this, because there was really no choice. Get high or die. Yeah. Oh, is that what they say? I love that. So basically it was the THC we ordered from overseas, and that came from overseas. That was about $6,000, but Mum was willing to pay. What cost do you put on your life? Yep. So I helped her with the administration, and the administering of the liquid marijuana. Was basically came in vials, like let's say an essential oil bottle. It was dark, and it was 1 ml 3 times a day, about 7 hours apart. So that was a protocol. That was very strong THC, and the plant-based, no sugar, no animal product nutrition. So we continued that for 3 months. And so I went down a couple of weeks ago and got scans, and she's 100% cancer-free. And she's doing a little tap dance outside the oncology ward. That is phenomenal. So it's a pretty good story. Phenomenal. We've been interviewed on Cannabis Canada by a man called, radio presenter called Ian Jessup. Yep. And you've heard the interview. Yes, yeah. Yeah, so it's a really good happy ending, isn't it? So Mum's continuing best she can. Yeah. The plant-based. But she feels good. She feels fantastic. She's back to her... I can't believe it. Even better than what she was before she was unwell. I
Wow.
think she's got a new lease on life. She's out in the garden every day. I mean, yeah, she's
And how old is your mum?
78 in April.
Amazing.
78 in April.
Wow. So for at any other time, that would just be a death sentence, right?
Oh, she wouldn't be here now if we hadn't intervened.
Because it was months they gave her, right?
Well,
Or not even.
yeah, well, they can't put a real trajectory on it because they've got
Yeah.
to be careful, but it wouldn't have been long because, you know, her organs were shutting down. She had
Stage
no
4.
oxygen. Stage 4 is quite serious.
Yep, that is. It's
It's a death sentence.
Yeah.
Metastatic, adenocarcinoma. And being a nurse, I saw it on the, patient chart, and I know what that means. When they said inoperable.
Yeah.
And, because I actually forgot to in the beginning she had a lot of fluid on her lungs, and she couldn't cough it up though, and she actually had that drained, and they were trying to get the biopsy from that fluid, to get the prognosis. And when they had it drained, which was a really painful procedure, and Mum said it looked like 1.2 litres of porridge.
Oh my
I know
God.
it sounds. I said, Mum, Jesus, I'll never be able to eat oats again, and I love my oats. They did that pretty much straight away when they were discovering what was going on after the scans, and she was hospitalised. That was quite immediate, just to give her some relief. And as soon as they did that, they were trying to ascertain what kind of cancer it was to see if it was, whether they could operate on it or whether there was any hope. The fluid started coming back pretty much quickly after they drained that one, because that was so painful for her. She had to tell she was awake when they did it, like it was just a local procedure, local anaesthetic. But it was excruciating, she said, and the whole hospital system just she wasn't getting any answers, and it was a slow process. It was pretty bad, and so they wanted to give her some relief, but I kept on the fluid come back pretty much after it was drained, and this is when we knew it was pretty serious. That cancer was replicating really, really quickly and rapidly and spreading. So
now does she just have a test every so often just to make sure that it's still gone?
She gets her bloods done. Well, we had the scan about a month ago, 100% clear. She's doing all the plant-based maintenance, and every 3 months she has blood tests, and everything is normal.
Perfect.
Yeah, so kidneys are good, everything, and so, I got my mummy back, which new lease on life, which I'm extremely grateful for.
Yeah. I do, there was. Tell me about the administration of the. So, is that where something funny happened? That's probably your last awkward story for us.
Well, the method of administration for this particular cancer was rectally. So basically, yes.
Lucky you're a nurse.
Yes, I know. So, I'd do anything for my mother, but getting up close to her butthole or a cinnamon ring was another level.
Cinnamon ring.
Right?
Okay, yes. Yeah.
That was quite confronting as well. But, funny. And the reason, just so you know, to administer it that way is because if you take it orally, you will just get so stoned because it's so strong. And there are actually, when you administer it rectally, there are lung meridians in that area, and it can be a lot gentler because you'd be complete, because it is quite strong. I mean, if you think 1 ml, if you
That's
understand
tiny,
the dosage,
yeah.
1 ml 3 times a day, so 3 mils per day, which is quite a lot.
Is it? Yeah, I don't know, but
yeah. So
it sounds like it's strong.
Yeah, it is, and I know it's strong because I used to draw it up and administer it, and there was 3 drops, and it's liquid gold, and I just thought I'm not wasting this one time, and decided to get. And it was like when I was very careful and meticulous with it, right, because it was a dark bottle, and that helps with the integrity of the medicine. In a dark vial, so I just have to administer it in 3 ml syringe. So I'd prep them every day for her. So 1 ml, and she'd put coconut oil around the area, and after administration, I'd also do 1 ml of water, because filtered water because it could be a little bit stingy or uncomfortable. So that was also the method recommendation. So when I was drawing it up, I may have dropped a few drops, and I was like, I'm not wasting this. And I was like, so I got it in my finger and I licked it, and just proceeded to get on with the day and
as you
doing the medication prep and whatever I was doing, my strategies or reading, and I was just like, I don't feel right, this is not good. And I'm not a huge pot smoker, or I don't take THC, but I know the sensation of being stoned. I was off my fucking head. I was reading something and I just kept on reading, and I was like, and then I wanted to go out, and a strategy for me, because I love my exercise, so to go for a run, but I couldn't even see straight. I've never been so stoned, and so that goes to show that was 3 drops,
right?
As opposed to and that was orally, so obviously sublingual. But imagine that for a 77-year-old lady taking it orally.
That's too much.
Too much. I could even. So that's.
But did you have a good time?
It was a bit dreamy, gaga, wasn't it? I think Mum wanted to go down the street that day. We had to get some more food. I was like, Mum, we're not going anywhere.
I'm not driving.
Yeah, I'm not driving. Yeah, exactly. Fear of being pulled over and stoned.
Yeah.
But that was funny. Yeah, it was good. And it lasted a long time, for about 4 to 6 hours. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But, the outcome of all of this is so fantastic for your mum. So this
for
and this
all
is
of
what's
us, for all of us.
For all
but
of you,
this is also when I want to start talking about the, cancer preventative. It's and educate people on ways they can improve maybe bad lifestyle habits to prevent cancer. And not everyone has to be plant-based or really, really clean, but just modifications and alkaline diets and nutrition and really, really important, because that's what cancers thrive on: acidic environment, sugar and inflammation. Try and bring that down.
Yep. Well, we'll put all your details in the subscribe area so that people can get in touch with you if they want to hear more about it and learn more about for menopause, just for general nutrition and how to get back on track and your process. And they can look at we'll put a link to your other podcast as well, where you were talking, because it was really good to watch that and see
the
see the
interview,
picture of you and your mum, and it was amazing to hear from both of you that story, because it's quite unique and it's very helpful for people who might be in that situation. So
and as Mum says in the interview, we just want to spread the good news and help people in any way we can, coming from a real kind of authentic perspective, because it's a true story.
Lived experience. And that counts.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us here on the couch. The two Moneys back together. Who knows what's an adventure for both of us in this year?
Yes, I know.
Forward, but,
this is the beginning of who knows what's going to happen in the next 50 years, right?
Yeah, I know. We've had
known each other for how long?
33.
Wow. That's awesome.
What's happening in the next 33? I don't know.
No whiskey and hitchhiking, that's for sure.
No, that's done. We did that. We're very more low-key now, But anyway, thank you so much for being with us on Awkwardly Yours. Subscribe. Let us know what you think of this. Any other things, check out Mons' page and what she's doing. And, see you next time. We're awkward, we're messy, we're human. Bye.
Thanks for watching.